That's
You were talking about rail.
yeah. So as I was saying, I said with rail, the reason that the commission is emphasizing rail economics is that we believe that the fastest way to eradicate poverty
Okay.
is when you have efficient transportation systems.
Sister. I agree.
So if you are working in Ibadan, as an example, and you live in Isei,
For instance.
and there's rail that connects you to Isei, all you do is you come to Ibadan every day, you earn your
Do
money,
your work.
you earn
earn
the
your
money,
money.
and go and spend that money in Isei. By spending the money you earn in Ibadan in Isei, you are eradicating poverty.
Yes.
You see, there's so many small towns that we have visited now in Western Nigeria that sadly are dying away because everyone has left. So they've left those small, and I don't want to mention them on radio here.
Yeah,
There's
don't,
small towns
please.
that you go there now, you only find people who are over 75 and above. All the elderly. In fact, there was a town I went to for a function about 2 years ago, and the KBAC was at that function, and I asked the KBAC that, are we here on a market day or on the farm? Everybody's in the farm. He said, well, I said, when we're coming into the town, everywhere was empty. He
Yes.
said, nobody lives there again. Everybody's
God.
gone. All because, and you see, there's so much pressure on our cities.
On our urban centers.
So, imagine there's rail, where, as I said, you can commute from Ife, Ilesha to Ibadan, walk and go back.
Yes.
So that is the idea behind a Western Nigerian rail that is being conceived. As I said, experts are working on one or two things that will
So
be shared.
how
with
far
us.
have you come with that?
Yes, we had the summit in Akure about
Okay.
4 weeks ago when we brought
Okay.
transportation experts. They've all looked at the feasibility.
Okay.
Lagos has started something, and we all know there's a red line and blue line.
Yes, there you
that
go.
they
Within
are
the
getting
city.
to the final stages of working. Ogun is also thinking of doing its own rail that will. In fact, part of the red line in Lagos goes through Ogun anyway.
Oh,
So
interesting.
Ogun is also trying to
Interesting.
connect to that red line.
Yes.
So we are now saying that all the other states in the region need to key
Into that
exactly the
important.
because without them working together, and that's the essence of Dawn Commission. The good thing is that at Dawn, when we sit down at the table, we bring 6 states together at
Okay.
the snap of a finger.
Wow.
When you say, "Oh, we need to have a meeting with the education ministers and commissioners of all
in
the
each
states,"
state.
all we need to do is send them. In fact, for most of them, we have WhatsApp platforms. Just send them an email or WhatsApp message that we're going to have a meeting, and
At so time.
because
And all hands will be on deck.
and because we don't do politics, ours is development.
Oh, it's
so
a non-political.
it's non-political. So whether you are PDP or
So it does not
LUP
matter.
or
You know, I
anything,
was worried about that.
everybody turns up. We don't do politics. So all the governors buy into that agenda because they know that the only language you speak is it's development.
Development.
I'll give you an
Business,
example.
economy.
In 2021, was it 2020 or 2022, at the height of COVID,
Okay.
I remember there was a time that we thought that the Minister of Education came on air and said, Nigeria will not be sitting WAEC that
Okay.
year.
Yes.
I think it was
remember,
2020.
I
He said
remember.
Nigeria will not sit WAEC. It was Dawn Commission that quickly
Wow.
mobilized the 6 Southwest commissioners.
Wow.
We called them to a meeting and said, look, this will be a catastrophe for
For
Southwest
that to happen.
if they don't write WAEC. You see, with due respect,
Because we hold education at very high.
Zamfara,
You know?
Zamfara that has maybe 900 candidates for WAEC can afford not to do WAEC and carry over to the next year. And your state that's going to put down over 100,000 students. If we fail to do WAEC in 1 year, it will take us 5 to 8 years to recover. So at Dawn Commission, we called all the commissioners.
Wow.
We mobilized and said we had the meeting online because it was online then.
Most things were online then.
Quickly, we did a press release the following day saying that no, Mr. Minister, Southwest is going to we're going to sit exams. That's joint statement from the Southwest jolted them in Abuja.
Exactly.
Abuja quickly called a meeting.
Wow.
Abuja called a meeting of all the 36 commissioners virtually, and Southwest spoke with one voice. As a result of the efforts that we are
That
putting
Dawn
out,
had made.
they spoke with one voice and said, "Sir, you might not want to do exam. We will speak directly to WAEC that we are ready." Reason prevailed, and they said, "Okay, let's all do the exams." And so we always say that's one of the major advantages of having a commission that speaks in total for the 6 states. And you see, that's just deviation. Going back to RENAM, we also talked about power.
Yes,
The
please.
federal government has devolved power. So Oyo State now can enter into agreement with any
power generating company.
You see, at the moment, the discos are the ones that have the monopoly, but not anymore. Oyo State government, and I'm sure I've been reading one or two things in the papers, Oyo State government can easily now decide to go to Niger State and find a company that can supply them. So if the Ibadan disco can only supply, let's say for want of figure, 20 megawatts to Oyo State, and Oyo State needs 100 megawatts.
Why can't we go somewhere else and look for it?
The other 80. The governor is now free under the new law that was signed by former President Buhari.
That's wonderful.
And there's also
commendable.
An electricity bill that Mr. President Bola Tinubu will probably be signing in the next few days as well, which will seal the fact that states now have total independence. Southwest now should be working, and part of the things we're going to be recommending, which will be going out today or tomorrow to the desk of our governors, because again we brought in experts, proper experts in the power sector who developed this roadmap for us, and the roadmap will be going to all our governors. Some of the states are already doing part of the things in the roadmap. That roadmap will be telling them what step to take. How they can work together. Power is very expensive. So a state should not say, I want to go it alone. We are lucky that again 6 states, I keep saying
can work together.
Don't forget, and it's a plus for us. You see, apart from the Jews, the only other race that traces its progenitor to a single person is the Yoruba race. Trace it all the way up. That we say, we trace our progenitor. Do you understand? Like the Jews, just like the Jews that trace it to a single thing as well. So we have more. What I'm just trying to put out there is that we have so many things that joins us at the hip, more than what divides us. And you know, we also have that advantage here in Western Nigeria, where we don't allow things like religion or anything divide us. No. At all. So, and those are the strong points, strong positions that Southwest needs to build on to fast track development. It is so important, and that's the essence of Dawn Commission. Let's go back to when we had security challenges in 2019. There were security challenges. The governors turned to Dawn Commission and said, go and think of how we can solve
this problem.
And we all sat together. We gave back to Amotekun came out.
I was there at the launching of it at Bayogulisi Hall.
Amotekun came out of Dawn Commission. Down to the logo, the color, everything. It was Dawn Commission that gave back to Amotekun. And you see, that is the power of 6 states. Not having any political thing,
coming together. Free.
Again, you could remember that when Amotekun was about to start, there was uproar all over the country. But today regions are now copying
the idea,
because the idea of 6 states or contiguous states now working together is the way to go. And I'm sure the government of President Bola Tinubu, and I've saw that in his manifesto, he's also going to focus on what we call bottom-up development as opposed to top-down development. And bottom-up development is going to be more effective when you have blocks, as in BLOC. So when that investor comes in from Japan or China and is talking to 6 states simultaneously,
at the same time,
a population of 55, 60
million people,
you become very attractive. And you know, we are also glad and lucky that we have progressive, forward-looking minded governors.
Yes.
You understand? I mean, a perfect example is the Oyo State governor here.
Yes, Dr. Oshie.
All he thinks about is development, not which party.
What they say, Umbati, it's not for Umbati.
It's development. That what can we do? What will benefit the people directly? And that's so. Even at Dawn Commission, as I said, we don't do contracts, we don't dig boreholes, but we think. Our job is to think.
So you are like the think tank of the entire Southwest 6 states put together.
And people at Southeast, they came to us about 3 years ago. They spent a whole week, Southeast states.
Yes.
They spent a whole week with us in Cocoa House to understudy our work in order to replicate
that in their own
Southeast
region
states.
too.
You understand?
Have they been able to?
Well, because of their own culture. That was why I again brought out the idea of that we trace our own. You see, the Igbo culture over the years, they are, how do I put it? They have never subsumed themselves under a single authority. If you look at their culture,
That's true.
They have their little villages where they have their own empire. It's a cultural thing. You understand? Don't forget that in Western Nigeria, this democracy we are talking about, we've had even a better version in the olden days. Look at the Oyo Empire.
Oyo Empire back in those days, yes.
That was democracy at best.
It was.
People will say, oh, don't keep women subservient. We say, not in Yoruba land. Women have been leaders for hundreds of years
all along.
in Yoruba land. So,
from time immemorial.
So we have had that progressive thinking culture.
So what you are telling me now is all those progressive thinking culture, Don is responsible for bringing it to bear and ensuring that's because sometimes the difference between knowledge and deed can be very
big.
You can know something, but how do you really put it into practice? Do you have some form of, if you like, public enlightenment program that let the citizen know what you're doing and how they can benefit from it, how they can run with it?
One of the things we're hoping to do this year is we've called, and it brings me to our 10th anniversary as a commission.
Yeah, I was going to come to that.
Because Dawn is 10 years in July this year by the grace of God. And one of the things we want to do from this 10th year is that we want to be holding what we call at least 6 town hall meetings in a year, which is every 2 months. We'll go to a town. In different towns. We tested it once about 4 years ago in Aloore, and it worked. So we'll be going to different towns, speaking their language to them. Let them know what it means for 6 states to be working together, because the day will come.
The impact, of course.
The day will come when the 6 states will be combining their resources to put infrastructure around. So if the Ondo governor and Osun governor is putting money for an infrastructure in Oyo that will benefit the whole region, the people in the state will not be saying, why are you taking Ondo money? They will have understood the reason why it's being done. So like that. So if they want to, as we are trying to do power plants now, and we decide that a lot of the plants will be in Ondo state as an example, I'm just saying that because it's nearer the natural resources needed, nobody will complain. You understand my point?
I do.
So the issue is, we'll be doing a lot more town hall engagements. We've done so much on Facebook, but that's for the intellectuals.
Yes.
Let's now take it down.
Take it down to the people.
Exactly.
Now, I'd like for you to talk briefly. What do you, our environment, what does it look to you? Are you comfortable with the kind of environment we have, bringing in tourists? Are you comfortable with that, or don't you think that's part of the ingredients? That's part of the recipe that tourists will see and then say, "Oh, I want to come back here again." Are you pleased with the way?
You are perfectly right. This is something that we have done a few papers over the years. You see, the first thing I always say is this: for those who have traveled abroad, if you go abroad and you look at the environment, it's very clean. Very structured, very ordered.
Yes.
And I then tell people that if you've seen that environment, I then ask a question: did you see anybody with 2 heads when you were on the street?
I would say no.
I would say no. If you see a 2-headed person, that's a monster. Everyone you saw there has only
one head.
You don't find 2 heads. So bring it back here, sir. Just this afternoon, and I'll give you and I'm glad you mentioned the environment, and I'll use it as an example. Just this afternoon, as we were coming from our office in Cocoa House, right inside traffic there, the man finished his bottled water in his car, wound down the window, and flung out the bottle.
And for all you care, he could have been a PhD holder.
And I was telling myself that this man looks educated.
There you go.
He looks educated. He finished his bottled water, threw it out. Now, he will then be among those who will go on social media and say, "Oh no,
the
Ibadan is not
environment
clean."
is this,
But sorry, sir, you are among those who are making the environment. It is not Governor Seyi Makinde that will go to the streets and be picking bottles.
Throwing, no.
And it's not Governor Seyi Makinde will not throw his pure water sachet on the floor.
On the street.
So where am I going here, sir? For you to have the environment that you desire, it is not. In fact, I would say it is 30% government, 70% the populace.
Citizens themselves.
It's as simple as that.
Yes.
So that if they tell you don't put your waste in the flood when there's rain, if they tell you pay for waste disposal, get a
which
drum.
costs absolutely nothing. Come to think of it.
Some homes they will tell them pay 1,000 naira. They will say they don't want to pay, but you are ready to generate that waste. So in the middle of the night, when nobody sees you, you carry your basket, dump it. So you see, that's orientation of the mind. Has to change.
I quite agree. I can agree more with you on that.
And I give this example again. If you go into some estates, residential estates, you find it sparkling clean, because the moment you go in through the gates in that estate, you won't see any litter on the floor. So you comport yourself. So why is it that
you cannot transfer that to the larger community?
If you go into IITA here in Ibadan,
oh my God,
IITA has been like that since I was young.
That I've known it.
But those working there,
still within here in Ibadan.
So why should I finish my corn, agbado, and throw
the corn
on the street? You see, if everybody decides, sir, when I say this,
you
that
know,
if we all decide today that
this is
I
how
will
we want
not
to live
put
our life.
Abroad, people's cars are always very dirty inside.
Oh yeah.
Do you know why?
Oh yeah.
Anything you eat or waste, you put it in
my
your
car in the US is like a junk on the
when
inside.
you get home, you carry all the waste.
Pack all those things and go dump it
dare
at the
not throw
appropriate
it out.
place.
And I'm glad that Mr. Governor here in Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, recently dissolved the Waste Management Board. And I'm sure he has said it, and I heard him say something like that 3 days ago, that he is no longer going to tolerate people putting waste in the media, people dumping their waste indiscriminately.
And not knowing what to. You know, God doesn't create waste. Everything God created can recycle itself and still replenishing and making the environment more and more conducive. So, it is human beings generate waste.
So when people complain, oh, my state is dirty, but I'm sorry, you are the one controlling.
You are the one controlling the state.
Do you have a way of disposing your waste? So if the governor says pay 2,000 naira per month to dispose of your waste, I mean, go abroad, sir. I know how much people pay in UK.
Yes.
To
dispose their
waste.
Their waste.
A lot of money. It's in form of what they call the council tax.
No, government has to do everything.
But here, we don't want to pay for it, and we want to clean environment, and we are complaining. It doesn't work that way. So you are very right that our attitude to environmental sanitation has to change.
It is at this point that I'm going to call on NOA, National Orientation Agency.
Oh yes,
they need to do more. Please, they need to do more. And if there's peradventure, Dawn is in position to at least, encourage them, to preach them to do more in terms of creating that enlightenment for the people. It's important. My brother, thank you so very much. I won't let you go if you didn't tell me what the plans are for the 10th anniversary of Dawn. Just for a minute.
Yes, as I said, we're 10 years from July, and one of the highlights of that 10th anniversary is that we're having an arts cultural exhibition.
Oh, okay.
And the reason we're doing that is, number one, to open up our office, because we're going to use our office so that they will know it's open to everybody to come.
Yes.
And also is to tell our story, economic story, as Western Nigeria, social story, even our ethics and values will be spoken via those artworks that will be on display.
Because art speaks.
Oh yeah.
Art heals. Art communicates.
And the entrance fee is 0. You don't pay anything.
Oh my God!
Anybody
on top of it all.
Yes, you will come in to see, and we are hoping there's going to be like between a 7 to 10 day thing.
Wow!
People will so you come into the office.
Oh, I'm so glad that I'm going to be a part of that.
Oh, absolutely! And oh God, part of those leading the process. So we are looking forward to it. speaking, and at the moment now we've written out letters for sponsorship because I mean these things are not free.
I pray. Talking about sponsorship, do people actually see some of these things as an something they should support? That is when you are planning to do all this. Yoruba says obeto dun. Our philanthropies, our business community, and those other corporations are there. Have you been getting support from them?
At the moment, no. Because there's no point in lying.
Or they don't know that you need that support for their own benefit in the long run.
We have written now to some companies here that it's our 10th anniversary. They shouldn't think that we're not relying on government alone to give us funds, that we want them to own this process. If you put your money there, your 1 million, your 10 million, it's part of it.
It's part of it.
And the mileage you will get from sponsoring things with us at Dawn Commission. I say this, Dawn Commission opens doors to 6 states simultaneously. So I see no reason why that investor, why that business should not be connecting with us. That, okay, let me speak to these people. And, we have partnership with Odua invested upstairs there. And through one or two things, we've been able to even bring companies to partner with Odua. Odua is we call Odua the business arm of Southwest.
Okay, yes,
the intellectual and thinking.
Of course.
So we've written out letters now for sponsorship. We need it. I won't lie.
Yes,
no point.
Of course.
We need
Who
that
doesn't
sponsorship.
need money?
So that if they can, and nothing is too small for us.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, the events are meant
throw
to start
in 1,000, throw in a million, throw in 10 million, a billion. It's never too small.
So
thank you so very much. We could have gone on forever and ever because there's so much to talk about.
Absolutely, but it's a pleasure being here.
I really appreciate your coming on this program.
In future, we can always come back again.
Wow, listeners and watchers, the people watching us at home, it's been a wonderful time with our big brother here, Dr. Sheye Oyeleye, the Director General of the Dawn Commission. Being with us on this program this afternoon, on the program Oju Inu Agba Oye. Till another time when we come your way again, I'm sure my brother, you won't mind coming back.
Absolutely.
You will call on you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
We are here to serve.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you,
right.
Thank you,
so we see soon. We are all going to meet during the celebration of Dawn Commission, starting from the 24th of July and on and on and on. You can bring your own ideas. We're not just limiting it to what Dawn is. You own Dawn. So come and use Dawn the way you want Dawn to be used.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you,
all right. My sister Titilayo Afolabi, thanks for coming. The executive assistant to the DG of Dawn Commission. We really appreciate your coming. Before we go, we're not going to leave you without discussing what art is actually all about. And I have these two gentlemen, young folks, matter of fact, who will be coming here to talk to us about what is art. Why do you need art? Who needs art? So, please, I will be on the side for now. My name is Tunde Odunlade, the CEO and the curator of the Tunde Odunlade Arts and Culture Connections. Join us as we bring these two young men on the program.
Read and money the school sing. The family unit has lost its fire. Mom and dad are doing different things. I still believe we are all the same. Love can heal the wounds and hurt most any pain. Put your arm around a neighbor. Tune up an instrument to play. Time is wasted. Lift up your voice.
Yeah, good afternoon, listeners. Wherever you're watching us over and abroad, you're live on Aloore Radio on www.aloreradio.com. As we're speaking right now, you can also watch us on YouTube at Aloore Radio, on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Aloore Radio. Good afternoon, listeners. My name is Goke Animation. I'm from Tunde Odunlade Art and Culture Connections, and today I have on here with me
Asha Adidayo Samuel. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Last week we talked about art and culture and art as a creative economy, and listeners, if you would remember, we talked about what art is. Art is a human expression. Art is a medium whereby humans express themselves easily. At times you cannot talk to people, or you cannot describe what you are feeling to your neighbor or to your partner, but art can give you the medium to do that easily. So today, Asha, we're going to look at forms of art. Last week, listeners at home, if you remember, we talked about forms of art. We have visual art, performing art, digital art, and so on. But today we want to look at visual art. What is visual art? And Asha, I think a lot of people don't really know what visual art is. So I want you to do justice to that in a short period of time. What is visual art? What are the things that are included in visual art? What does visual art entails? So can you please do justice to that?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I was not here last week, and I'm saying hello to Tolu in absentia, anyway, you all know. Last week you talked about art and definition of art, talking about art as expression of human thoughts and feelings.
Yes, of course.
So art has two branches, which we call the visual and the non-visual art. Now today we're going to be talking about visual art. Now under visual art has to do with representation of art.
Okay.
That has to do with visual. You see them, you can feel them, you can touch them, you see them. Unlike the non-visual that has to do with literary, that has to do with drama, dance, poetry, music and the rest. So now under non-visual art, we have that's where we have sculpture.
Okay.
That has to do with sculpture can be in a round or in a relief form. We have two-dimensional sculpture. We have three-dimensional sculpture. That means sculpture in a round. And sculpture, we have different forms of sculpture. We have
does
the
carving
metal.
also stands as
Yes,
sculpture?
that's what I'm saying. We have carving, and carving has to do with can be wood or can be stone.
Okay.
Then we have metal sculpture that has to do with metals. We have sculptures using different materials such as resin, such as little as paper mache. To students in school, paper mache, those small assignments they give you in school.
I remember in primary school then we used starch and pieces of paper to form bowl, cups and stuff like that.
You can use your paper mache, you can use sawdust to form a sculpture. So also painting has to do with using of pigments, that's paint, using of colors to create a visual expression. It could be on canvas, it could be on wall, which we call wall murals. It could be on any surface. That's what we call painting. Also, when I was coming, I was checking the forms and I saw collage.
Collage, okay.
Yeah, collage has to do with using of pieces of materials to form a design. The material could be a representation. The material could be clothes, could be paper. That's collage. Then you ask a question talking about.
There's this thing called mosaic.
Yeah, mosaic.
What's the difference between mosaic and collage? Are they the same thing, or is there a difference between them?
Okay, talking about collage and mosaic, I think the difference between them is the material.
Okay.
Collage has to do with the use of paper, clothes, household materials you can easily lay your hands upon. Then when we talk about mosaic has to do with heavy material like stones, like marbles. Catholic use mosaic a lot. You see their glass.
Or you see of tiles.
Yes,
tiles.
Those are mosaic and yes. So we also have a lot of other forms.
Like photography,
printmaking. Printmaking is a transferring of design from a particular surface into your desired. It could be paper, it could be clothes.
So is lino cut also?
Yes. Lino cut. Even you can use stencil. Using of stencil.
We used to do that very well in secondary school. We'll put money on that stencil. We say
you're dabbing.
We are dabbing money.
Yeah. So use of stencils and the rest. Then lastly, I want us to talk about found objects. It's also a form of visual art, and the reason why I want to talk more about found objects, that means junk art. You can call it junk art.
Okay, you talking about junk art take me back to earlier in the program. when the DG of Don Commission was here, and with our host, Prince Ladi was talking about, waste. I think there needs to be an orientation whereby people know, okay, all this waste you dumping around the city could actually be recycled or could actually be used as art, as a form of art.
Yes. In respect to waste museum.
There is a museum that is waste museum. Wonderful.
Now, when we talk about junk art, there's a form of art or a art style we call conceptual art. Conceptual art. Conceptual has to do with just the word, the name implies concepts. It has to do with concept, and when we talk about conceptual art has to do with when you use different forms, you create a concept from your material. Now, when we talk about junk art, earlier on the program we talked about waste, people dumping waste. You can actually recycle your art. Junk art can come from metal, can come from waste metal.
Plastic.
They are like popola. You use junk, you use metal, scrap, car scraps and rest. Use it for his art. So I think we should just be creative. Visual art, this form of art that has to do with visual. We just need to be creative to see the opportunities around us.
I think that's the word. Like Prince Ladi said earlier, our mentality. It's the mentality of people. Let me just, should we say destructive mentality? But then I think being creative has to come with the mindset, the mentality. I think our people have to have that mentality, and that's why the National Orientation Agency comes in as well. That's where it orientates people. You can recycle waste, and I found out that there's this waste museum you just talked about, being directed by Mrs. Jumoke Olowo-Kere, popularly as Olowo Waste. So I think if people can go there, even if you have waste, you can go there, take it there, and probably can generate little income from you instead of dumping them on the streets and causing menace. I think the community, the Ibadan city at large, needs to cultivate this mentality of recycling waste, because there is a lot of waste lying around, and that's art.
And also this part of visual art, I would like to just mention these 2 points. And the first one is importance of visual art. Art generally is not all about aesthetics. That's beauty. We should learn to see beyond the physical representation of the art. We should learn to. There was one time I was writing. I was talking about intellectual visual art helps intellectual thinking. It pushes you to think, just like conceptual art. It forces you to think beyond the art piece. So visual art passes a message to the society, the team. There's a lot of art that passes team. The team has to do with social society. It passes religious thing, a lot of things. Now, talking about the Dawn Commission, that the earlier program that was held now, talking about the exhibition going on that's about to the submission of artworks for the exhibition they are planning,
or for the 10th year anniversary.
Now, they talk about the economic impact. That means when you produce artwork, it's not only for aesthetic. You can actually use it to pass a message, talking about the economy, talking about religion, talking about cultural background and the rest. So we should, we see artwork, we should not just think, okay, this is just beautiful.
Asha, thank you. If you are permitted to go on and on and on and on, we'll really talk about a lot of this. Okay, well, I just have something for listeners at home. You are still on the program, Oju Inu Agba Oye. Well, instead of you dumping your waste on the floor everywhere, literally the city, why not visit the Waste Museum at Monia and go see what you can do with your waste, and not just litter the city, and let us imbibe a safe and clean environment. Thank you for joining us today on this segment of Oju Inu Agba Oye, whereby we talk about art. You can check us on www.facebook.com/Aloore Radio. And if you want to reach us on Aloore Radio, you can call the number 090-3985-3731. And you can download the Aloore app on iOS Store and your Play Store. Thank you. I'll see you next week Thursday. I'm Goke Animation.
Thank you.
I've been told as I get old, this world could cease to be. The world I knew as a child has changed, but for the better, I'll disagree. The world of a youth
brilliant. Having these two young men talking about art. Can you now see that art goes beyond just the aesthetic of it? There are they mentioned that art gives room for critical thinking, for creative thinking. Actually, I don't understand why anyone will not see art as a way of life. While I say art is life, life is art. It is on this note we're going to draw the curtain today, and till we see you next week. My name is Tunde Odulade of the Tunde Odulade Arts and Culture Connection. You can reach us at 081-2523-9077. You can do Tunde Odulade Arts, on the internet, Facebook, YouTube, and so on and so forth. Please visit the gallery whenever you have time. This is part of your agenda as a person that God has created to have fun, to have meaningful need for your life to develop. So please come on and visit with us. While I say Deji Olawoyi, thank you very much for being behind the console. I don't know where Shego is today, and I saw Akim came in briefly at a point. All of you, thanks for being here, and we say thank you to Mrs. Aboyede. We thank our chief host, the governor of Oyo State, Engineer Oluwaseyi Abiodun Makinde, for making this happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My name again is Tunde Odulade. Cheerio.
The family unit has lost its fire. Mom and dad are doing different things. I still believe we are all the same. Love can heal the wounds and hurt most any pain. Put your arm around and
we bring you everything from breaking news.
President must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
World news, sport, music, and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification